In the book, Porter allegedly recounts discovering and making copies of the tapes that Diddy made of himself having sex with young boys.
I want her to know that, she can count on me, but at the end of the day, I'm never going to force myself to be in a relationship with her. It has to be natural, right?
It looks like Justin Bieber has spoken out about how he feels about the Diddy situation, and it's not looking too good, and it's what everybody thought happened. So
It looks like Justin Bieber has finally mustered the courage to speak out, and what he's revealing is nothing short of shocking. For years, rumors have swirled about those infamous 48 hours when Diddy had custody of a young Bieber right before handing him the keys to his dream car. Fans and insiders alike have whispered, at what cost? Well, folks, the whispers were spot on. Justin's just dropped unseen footage that confirms all those chilling speculations about his time with Diddy. And let's just say, it's worse than we imagined. And now that Justin's got proof of Diddy's escapades, and it's looking like he might just hand it over to the courts to seal Diddy's fate. Justin Bieber FO out there. We all know that Jaguar has been speaking out against Diddy's atrocities for years, and after his arrest and indictment, Jaguar is back at it, this time claiming that Sean Combs has sold a wild freak-off party tape for a whopping $500 million on the dark web. But rumor has it Justin Bieber might be gearing up to release his own version of events just to clear his name. I mean, let's be real. When Diddy had his claws in Justin, the poor guy was barely out of his teens. The speculation has people buzzing, and it's starting to feel like Justin's had enough of being linked to Diddy's freaky escapades. Jaguar claims this alleged footage features some major A-listers, including Justin when he was a kid back then. And we all know how impressionable teenagers can be. Now with Diddy behind bars facing charges of ST, racketeering, and attack, the timing for Justin to step up couldn't be more perfect. Maybe he's ready to throw a little light on those shady years and finally give people what they've been speculating about. Let's not forget that Bieber himself admitted he went through some of the darkest years at the start of his career. Could it be connected to those infamous 48 hours he spent with Diddy? I mean, we all remember that clip where Diddy called it a 15-year-old's dream, but in hindsight, it makes you wonder what really went down. Bieber talked about the pressures of fame, being surrounded by people telling him how awesome he was, while he faced serious personal struggles. He even said, "I just want people to understand the psychology of why I potentially could have problems in my life." Now, he didn't directly point fingers at Diddy, but the timing of those comments resurfacing alongside Diddy's recent charges? Yeah, social media is buzzing with speculation, and fans are connecting the dots between Bieber's early experiences and his association with Diddy. It's definitely a conversation worth having. There have been countless moments where the relationship between Diddy and Justin Bieber has raised serious red flags. Moments that have made people uneasy for years. From the bizarre interactions caught on camera to the unsettling way Diddy pursued Justin when he was just a teenager, something always felt off. And now with Kim Porter's bombshell tell-all, Kim's lost words threatening to rip the lid off Diddy's darkest secrets, things are about to get even more twisted. According to the leaked details, Kim's book allegedly contains shocking claims about Diddy's underground life, including accusations of illicit activities involving young boys. And get this one of the tapes reportedly features none other than an 18-year-old pop sensation who became a global superstar. You don't need a magnifying glass to see where this is going. The whispers are getting louder, and more people are starting to connect the dots.
In the book, Porter allegedly recounts discovering and making copies of the tapes that Diddy made of himself having with young boys that he...
Bieber's early years in the entertainment industry have always been shrouded in mystery and speculation. He's opened up about the dark times he endured and the toxic pressures he faced. And let's not forget those resurfaced videos of a young, visibly under the influence Justin at Diddy's infamous parties. Parties that were allegedly more than just about music and dancing. Rumors have long circulated that Diddy's inner circle involved activities no one would dare speak of publicly. But with Kim Porter's memoir about to drop, that silence may finally be shattered. Now that Diddy's behind bars and Kim's explosive revelations are about to be unveiled, Justin might be feeling the pressure to come clean about his own experiences.
So Justin posted a series of pictures of himself crying on Instagram.
He's been through a lot. Public breakdowns, an intense spiritual rebirth, and a personal battle to leave behind a past that clearly haunts him. Could he finally be preparing to speak out? After all, Justin knows firsthand just how dangerous Diddy's world really is. With Diddy out of the picture, Justin may feel like he has no choice but to tell his side before it's too late. And why now? Maybe Justin knows something that the rest of us don't. Perhaps he's seen enough to realize that keeping quiet might be more dangerous than speaking up. Diddy may be behind bars, but the reach of his empire and the secrets that hold it together could still pose a threat to anyone connected to it, including Justin. Kim Porter's words might be the final push that brings Diddy's empire crashing down. And Justin knows better than anyone how deep those secrets go. If he doesn't tell his story soon, someone else might. And who knows what kind of fallout could follow. Not to mention, Justin also suffered mentally due to the alleged A inflicted by Diddy. It's hard to get out of bed in the morning with the right attitude when you are overwhelmed with your life, your past, job, responsibilities, emotions, your family, finances, your relationships, when it feels like there's trouble after trouble after trouble. Justin Bieber has also talked about doing heavy substances, how it affected his relationships, and how badly he treated women. The singer wrote, "I started doing pretty heavy substances at 19 and ate all of my relationships. I became resentful, disrespectful to women, and angry. I became distant to everyone who loved me, and I was hiding behind a shell of a person that I had become. I felt like I could never turn it around. It's taken me years to bounce back from all of these terrible decisions, fix broken relationships, and change relationship habits." Now, while things are taking place, Justin is also expecting a baby. With everything that's been going on, Justin Bieber's friends apparently think that being a first-time dad may be too much for him. The ghost hitmaker's pals fear that the singer may not be able to handle the stress of parenthood. Justin already has a hard time coping with life in the spotlight, so the worry is the stress of having a child to take care of and protect will be more than he can handle. Haley's been his rock, but now she's got to make being a mother a priority.
Is that Justin Bieber is a victim. I was horrified when I saw this, not because of the idea that Justin Bieber would be engaged in these sorts of things at these parties, but because I understood that.
Thalia Graves speaks out. Just like Justin, more and more victims are finding the strength to speak out against Diddy and the horrific acts he's allegedly committed right in plain sight. One of the latest to break her silence is Thalia Graves, a woman who's been haunted by a dark secret for over 2 decades. After years of fear and torment, she's finally stepping into the spotlight, filing a lawsuit that could be the tipping point in exposing the monstrous truth about Sean Combs. In a lawsuit filed in New York federal court, Graves painted a harrowing picture of what allegedly went down inside the infamous Bad Boy Records studio back in 2001. She was just 25 years old at the time, walking into what should have been a routine visit to the heart of Diddy's empire. But what she thought would be a normal night soon turned into her worst nightmare. According to the lawsuit, Graves was handed a drink that she believes was spiked, knocking her out cold. When she woke up, she found herself in a terrifying scene, bound, restrained, and completely helpless. Graves claimed that both Diddy and his former security guard, Joseph Sherman, violently attacked her, slamming her onto a table before subjecting her to unspeakable acts. She said, "The internal pain after being SA'd has been incredibly deep and hard to put into words. It goes beyond just the physical harm caused during the attack. It's a pain that reaches into the very core of who I am, leaving emotional scars that may never fully heal. Being blamed, questioned, and threatened has oftentimes made me feel worthless, isolated, and sometimes responsible for what has happened to me. I am emotionally scarred. I'm glad that Combs is locked up, but that is a temporary feeling of relief." During the March raids on Diddy's lavish homes in Los Angeles and Miami, authorities uncovered a disturbing array of items that have left many people shocked. According to court documents, federal agents seized 3 AR-15s with defaced serial numbers, an alarming find on its own, but that wasn't all. What really raised eyebrows were the so-called freak-off supplies, discovered at both locations. The feds reportedly took cases and cases of personal lubricant and baby oil, more than 1,000 bottles altogether. These items were allegedly used to stock hotel rooms for Diddy's notorious freak-offs, gatherings that have long been whispered about in Hollywood circles. The sheer volume of these supplies is pretty much the only confirmation we need of the scale of Diddy's secret lifestyle. It's becoming clearer by the day that Diddy's life behind the scenes was far from the glamorous image he projected. Interestingly, Sean Combs stood before a Manhattan federal court, pleading not guilty to a staggering list of charges that could land him in prison for life. The 54-year-old music mogul faced U.S. Magistrate Judge Robin Tarnowski, who showed no leniency. After hearing the grim details of the case, the judge denied bail, siding with prosecutors who insisted Combs remain in detention before his trial. The 14-page indictment, unsealed just hours before his court appearance. According to it, the charges, racketeering, conspiracy, ST, and transportation to engage in P, carry a maximum sentence of life in prison, with a minimum of 15 years if convicted. Yes, you heard that right. Prosecutors claimed Combs enticed women with D's, like K and E, financial support, or promises of a boost in their careers or romantic relationships. But what makes this even more sinister is the allegation that Combs used the recordings of the S acts as collateral to ensure the women's silence. The indictment also revealed that he allegedly displayed weapons to intimidate and control both his victims and witnesses. Though the number of victims remains unspecified, what's clear is the brutal nature of the accusations. While Combs was not directly charged with engaging in unwanted contact, he is accused of attacking women, punching, kicking, and dragging them, even throwing objects at them. Prosecutors further allege that Combs and his associates resorted to extreme measures like arson, bribery, and kidnapping to keep his dark secrets hidden. When an attorney for Combs said he could not have obstructed justice because he did not know he was the subject of a criminal investigation. However, Johnson, the prosecutor, told the judge the defendant's power gives him a unique ability to influence and intimidate witnesses and victims. Witnesses we have interviewed have universally expressed their fear of the defendant. His influence makes it extremely difficult to convince people that they will be safe from his actions. Yeah, that sounds about right. In addition to that, lawyers on Combs' side are also claiming that Combs is gaining major points by cooperating with the feds, but really though, there isn't much he can do in his position. To his credit, Mr. Combs has been nothing but cooperative with this investigation, and he voluntarily relocated to New York last week in anticipation of these charges. Please reserve your judgment until you have all the facts. These are the acts of an innocent man with nothing to hide, and he looks forward to clearing his name in court. In addition to all of that, Combs was caught red-handed trying to manipulate his victims. Authorities claimed in court that Diddy has been working overtime to silence anyone who might speak out against him. Prosecutors revealed that since he was sued in November by his ex-girlfriend, who accused him of years of physical and SA, he's been in full panic mode. Not only did he allegedly reach out to Harper, but also contacted witnesses who had received grand jury subpoenas and even one of his alleged victims. And you all remember Dawn Richard, right? The former Danity Kane member? Well, on September 10th, she dropped a bombshell lawsuit accusing Diddy of A, groping her, and even holding her captive. But here's the kicker. Richard claimed that Diddy wasn't alone. His buddy Harper was in on it too, allegedly watching as Diddy assaulted his ex, Cassie. Instead of staying quiet and letting his lawyers handle it, what did Diddy do? He blew up Harper's phone with 128 calls and texts over a few days. That's 58 calls in just 4 days. Talk about desperate, right? And then Diddy's legal team had the nerve to say it was just 2 witnesses with different recollections of similar events. Yeah, sure. But it doesn't stop there. After Cassie sued Diddy, accusing him of all kinds of horrifying things, A, R, and even forcing her into those infamous freak-offs where Diddy just watched him recorded, what was his next move? Allegedly, Diddy reached out to someone else on his payroll, trying to convince them that everything was totally consensual. Real smooth, Diddy. And of course, in true Diddy fashion, he and Cassie settled that lawsuit in no time. The terms? Completely secret. Diddy denies everything as usual, but actions speak louder than words, don't they? And even though Diddy was keeping tight-lipped about the settlement details, the prosecutors weren't holding back. They dug up some juicy info revealing that just 3 days after Cassie filed her lawsuit, Diddy called an unnamed person twice. Now here's where it gets interesting. This person just so happens to be someone Diddy's been financially supporting. Coincidence? I think not. Also, the prosecutors weren't just making things up. They had receipts. They claimed Combs asked for the victim's support and friendship and attempts to convince the victim that she had willingly engaged in acts with him. Combs can be heard telling the alleged victim that if she continues to be on his side and provide support and friendship, that she doesn't have to worry about anything else. It is just a thinly veiled reference to continuing that financial support. Anyway, Danity Kane, who has been outspoken about Diddy in the past, Aubrey O'Day, reacted to the news of Diddy's arrest. She said, The purpose of justice is to provide an ending and allow us the space to create a new chapter. Women never get this. I feel validated. Today is a win for women all over the world, not just for me. Things are finally changing. Attorney Lisa Bloom for Dawn Richards said in a statement, "We applaud the grand jury's new indictment of Sean Combs, which is strikingly similar to the federal complaint filed last week on behalf of our brave client, Dawn Richard. Given the brutal beating of Sean Combs' girlfriend caught on video and the 8 people who have now accused him of in-court filings, including Dawn, this arrest seems long overdue." Even Charlemagne the God couldn't resist chiming in on Diddy's alleged foul play and his rumored forced favors. During a recent episode of The Breakfast Club, Charlemagne let loose saying, if he gets racketeering and ST for freak-offs, it will be others involved. Like if you ever ran a train with Diddy, you're probably going to jail. If you ever been butt naked anywhere with Diddy, or half butt naked with Diddy, and there was some women around or some men around that he told you were part of the party, you're probably going to jail. Even Damon Dash had some words to say about Diddy's predicament. "I went to one in the Hamptons about 20 years ago with Aaliyah, and that's about it. But a lot of people were at those. You know what I mean? Ain't S happened in the Hamptons. That's the day I met Aaliyah. We hung out there, and then we left. That's what happened. That was 20 years ago. That was not in LA or Miami. I know they're going to play games with those pictures. It's all good. I don't really care. People will sit there and watch people do things that could be immoral, but until they get caught, no one says anything. Whether it's illegal or immoral for me, I just break out. I don't wait for people to get busted. I don't wait for someone else to say that they're doing something wrong." That's all for today. We hope you enjoyed that video, and if you did, be sure to like, subscribe, and tune in for more videos just like this.